Hey, everybody, welcome back to another amazing show. This is the Real Estate Marketing Roundtable. We have Mr. Nick Sakis, Mr. Gene Volpe, Mr. Jake Wolf, otherwise known as Sarge. We're going to talk about a lot of cool stuff today. I need you to stay put in your seat with a pen and a pad of paper. You're going to get some knowledge. You're going to put in your business. You're going to make some money. Until then, here's our countdown. All right, guys, welcome to the show. This is going to be amazing. We have one of our dearest, greatest, longtime listeners, Miss Veronica Jones. She's on her lunch break. She made sure to let me know that she's going to be watching us. So we love you. We appreciate Miss Veronica. And I don't know your new not maiden name, your new married name, but I'm going to call you Veronica Jones.
Stovall.
Oh,
it's a lot of pressure. I feel a lot of pressure now.
There is pressure, man. There's always pressure.
Jeez.
I know. Dyslexic McDaniel coming in hard. Nick Sakis, welcome to the show, man. Let everybody know who you are and where you're from, what you do.
My name is Nick Sakis. I'm from Tampa Bay, and I like ginger ale.
Oh my God, dude, me too. That's
we were just talking pre-show. I think ginger ale is highly underrated, for sure.
It is. It's the bubbles. You got the ginger, makes your tum feel good when you're not feeling so hot. I have a friend of mine who has been very, very sick. And I told him about ginger ale, and he went out and got some and feels better. So I agree with you. Gene Volpe, the ballers of the bald. How are you, brother?
What's up, my guy? I am looking at some stats here. I want to talk to you about something real quick. I know how much you love football.
Oh, yeah. Me and football go hand in hand.
Listen to this. This is something everybody can appreciate.
Isn't that the one that you throw the ball over the net and you're in the sand?
Yeah, with a bat. 100%. Yes. Yep.
Yeah,
okay.
With ginger ale in your left hand, Greg.
But listen to this. Last year, this is the speed for the single fastest plays in the NFL last year. So Jonathan Taylor, who's a running back for the Indianapolis Colts, had 3 of the top 5 plays, and in 2 of the plays, he was clocked in over 22 miles an hour.
What?
Yeah, exactly. You don't need to know sports to know that is fast.
That's a human being running that fast? We're not talking about cheetahs?
22.13 miles per hour on a 67-yard touchdown. Can you imagine trying to catch that dude?
Dude, nope. So we play the game Catch the Girlfriend with the dog, and I'll give Jackie about a 3 to 5 second head start, and I'll chuck the ball. He will blow past her in a microsecond. So I would love to put that guy versus my dog and see kind of how that would turn out, because I'm pretty sure that he might beat the dog. No joke.
I thought that was going in a completely different direction. I got to be honest with you.
Where did you think it was going?
Yeah, you sicko.
Catch the Girlfriend. I thought that might be something him and Jackie doing a Friday night or something. I don't know. Going through the grocery store with a pineapple upside down your shopping cart.
Hey, now take it easy.
All right, you're just sick in the pants. All right, I love you to pieces for that. But and we're gonna segue over to Mr. Jake Wolf. Mr. Sarge, how are you, brother?
I'm well. You got my mind going in awkwardly different directions. I'm sure I'm not alone. However, since you were talking about dog speeds, the German Shepherd top speed is around 30. The Greyhound's running about 45.
That's wild.
Damn. Well, let's talk about this. When it comes to shifting and going from one speed to another, the market is shifting. Nick, you came up with a great title for today's show. Walk us through kind of what your thought patterns are, because I want to see if Jake's going to be the German Shepherd or the Greyhound, and how we're going to be able to pivot and move, and how we can adapt to the changing market that is coming, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. I think in some markets, it's already here. We're already seeing some pushback. We're already seeing days on market creep 7, 8, 10 days, which is unheard of for the past couple of years, right? And I think there's a lot of real estate agents, especially brand new agents, that have never been in this market that's coming up, and it's going to be a big eye-opening event. And so when you have to actually, and I don't want to say this, don't take this the wrong way, because everybody works hard, but you're going to have to work a little bit harder and a little bit smarter in order to capture those listings that are going to be available to you. So for us and the Real Estate Uncensored, Greg basically cut his teeth and earned his chops doing scripts and objections, right? The old expireds. If you guys have never logged into your MLS and checked how many expired listings are going out on a daily basis, you probably should start looking at that activity. I thought Greg could shed some light and some expired scripts, since there's probably some people on this call that have never called an expired before, right? Or the for sale by owners that are going to have some trouble,
Right.
struggling to get rid of their home. So we're entering this shifting market. The tactics, the strategy is a little bit different. You're not just going to get your neighbor coming over and say, "Hey, list my house," and get $20,000 over ask, $100,000 over ask. If you've been beating your chest for the past 6 months to 18 months about how good of a realtor you are because every one of your listings goes over ask, you might be humbled here pretty shortly.
All right, so let's walk down that path really quickly. Nick, you and I are the two licensed agents on this forum. Let's do a role play. Do you want to do it with me? Do you want to do it with Gene or Jake? Because there are some really easy things. Who do you want me to play with? And we can run the script really quickly. You pick the scenario.
You're the script master. I'll be the expired listing.
Okay, you're the expired listing. Here we go. Ring, ring.
Yeah, hello.
Hey, I'm looking for the owner of 123 Main Street. Did I get the right number?
Yep.
Oh, fantastic, man. That means my fingers worked the right time the first time. Hey, I'm looking at the some information here on my desk. It looks like your property came off the market. Did you guys sell that or did you get it sold?
No, we had a terrible real estate agent.
Oh,
Didn't do their job, didn't know what they were doing. I never had any communication with them. But you're like the 20th person that's called me today. Am I on some kind of list?
you are actually, and congratulations. This could be your last phone call of the day. We're gonna have a couple of conversations here. You know what? I'm looking at my sheets, and it looks like you listed with Mr. Gene Volpe. Is that correct?
Yeah, he's quite a piece of work. If I ever see him on the street again, I tell you what, my wife had to keep me away from him.
Yeah, you know what? I feel the same way about some folks that I work with too. My question is that are you guys still thinking about selling?
We need to move. I'm moving. I'm relocating. I got another job, but I'm not going to give my house away.
Oh God,
all
no.
the offers that we had were ridiculous. Gene was just trying to force us to take something and run. And I've had this house for 25 years, and I'll be damned if I'm just going to give it away to somebody in flip flops and cargo shorts that thinks they're the shit.
Oh, hell no. You know what? That's what we specialize in. Flip flops and cargo shorts are not our jam here with our team. We wear professional clothing. One of our good colleagues, Mr. Jake Wolf, he's always dressed to the nines. He would be happy to be the face of this thing for you. What are you looking for in regards to price point?
Well, I've seen some houses on my street sell for much more, and I got all kinds of custom furniture. My brother-in-law is a woodworker. We got custom baseboards and crown molding. And, there's a lot of stuff in my house that other people on the block don't have. So, I think that's worth a lot of money.
I completely agree with you on that one. Can you help me understand why you think it didn't sell? Besides your agent.
Yeah. I mean, Gene kept telling me that I needed to declutter my house, whatever that means. I mean, I think my house is beautiful. My wife picks out all kinds of antique furniture. Every room's a little bit different, unique in itself. And I don't see how that would make a big difference.
You know what? I'm a huge fan of antique furniture. I actually have a client of mine. They have an old record player built in the 1930s that his father owned. He actually is giving it to me when we sell his house. So I love that style. That's exactly why I need to come over and talk with you. Does today at 3 or tomorrow at 4, I can show you how we can get this thing up in the market, do some stuff that maybe Gene didn't do, but just get you guys that money. By the way, when it comes to money, I'm always a curious kitten. What are you looking to net for your home? Because I mean, sales price is one thing, but putting money in your pocket's another. What's that number you're looking for?
I need to get $100,000.
100 grand
in order to move to our next location. And all the offers that I got from that Volpe guy were like only going to put 60, 70 grand in my pocket. And I'm not doing that.
Oh, that's horrible. You know what? I know Gene. He's a great guy. One of the baldest human beings on earth. And I always laugh at.
Don't bring him to my house.
Oh, we're not bringing. No, sir, no, sir. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do this. I'm a huge coffee fan. Are you a coffee or tea fan?
Yeah, of course. I love coffee. Who doesn't?
Do you like black? Do you like it with cream, sugar? What do you like?
Black only, baby.
All right. So what I'm going to do is I have to get my espressos in the afternoon. I'm going to bring over some espressos for myself and a black coffee for you. Does your wife like coffee?
No,
Okay. No coffee for her.
she doesn't like me half the time.
Okay, well, that makes two of us in regards to our relationship. So we're on the same page. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over either today at 3 or tomorrow at 4. What works better for you?
I'm not gonna be here today. I got stuff to do, but I'll be here tomorrow. If you
Rock
want to
and
stop
roll.
by, take a look. But I'm not signing anything. I got to take my time here and make sure I go with the right person because Gene was just terrible.
You know what? I do not specialize in listing properties. I specialize in selling properties. So I'm not going to bring a contract over. If you don't like my face, you don't like my coffee, you don't like anything that I have to say, kick me out the door and we're still part as friends. But you know what? Let's get together. Let me show you what my team and I have done for the last 35 years. And we've sold thousands of homes. And, we're high-tech individuals. We work with a company called Clever Leads, spelled with a K. We have high, sticky websites and landing pages. We will pay for your move anywhere in the lower 48. Not to mention the tech side on behind it. So I'll see you tomorrow at 4. I'm going to bring you a black coffee. I'm going to get 2 espresso double shots. We'll sit down, have a couple of biscuits, and we'll go from there. How's that sound?
What do you mean you pay for my move?
I will pay for your move out of my paycheck. It's not going to cost you a dime. I'm going to put in another $10,000 to $25,000 back into your pocket. And your next question is probably going to be, is this normal? And the answer is absolutely hardcore stop. It is not normal. And that is why my team and I are so successful, because we've partnered with amazing different organizations. They're going to make you more money. So we're going to help you net the amount of money, the 100,000 that you want, which obviously Gene didn't do, which God bless his soul. But then we're also going to pay for your move. Does that sound fair to you?
Gene told me to call Pods. I got a quote from them for $18,000. That's robbery.
It is robbery.
Who's paying $18,000 to move a couple states over? That's ridiculous.
You know the funny thing about Pods? My girlfriend just sold her house a couple of years ago. They wouldn't even deliver her pod in front of her house because it wasn't the right width in the driveway. And so we had to go get a U-Haul. It was a nightmare. It was horrible. We're going to take all that stress off of you. And that's exactly why we need to sit down. So let's do it, man. Tomorrow at 4, I'm bringing the coffee.
What was your name again?
My name is Greg McDaniel.
Okay. Greg, bring me some coffee and tell me a little bit more about this moving thing. I'm real interested in that.
You got it, Nick. I look forward to seeing you, my friend. I'll be the devastatingly handsome man that's a 6'5" Sasquatch with glasses and dark hair. So don't be afraid when I ring your doorbell.
All right, man. See you
All right, toodaloos.
But what you need to be afraid of is you've been real estate phone tap, Nick Sakis. I've been on the line the whole time. And I will see you tomorrow at 4 o'clock as well.
That was really drawn out, and I was a hard ass the whole time. People aren't usually that rude the entire call, but yeah.
No.
Greg goes with the flow very nicely, of course. Always comes back to the appointment, pushing the appointment. And if you guys notice, drop it in that unique selling proposition. What makes you different than the 20 other phone calls that this expired listing is receiving? It's really important. You guys have that dialed in. Greg checked facts. Sir, do you know why your house didn't sell? Did some information digging. And he got an appointment because of it.
I want to be really clear on this. Then I want to get Jake and Gene to jump in on this. Obviously, that we were having fun and joking around, and Gene obviously would do a phenomenal job selling a property. But when it comes to hearing disparaging comments about another real estate agent, never, ever, 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 ever feed into that, because these are human beings. You're going to have to deal with them on another deal. Obviously we were joking around, having fun, but never say anything negative about another real estate agent when it comes to doing sales. So, well, Gene, since we picked on you, what are your thoughts on this?
Wow, look, you're smooth, man.
Well, thank you.
I could see why somebody would want to talk you through that. Like, I mean, I don't know. The one thing is that USP that Nick was talking about, I'm a big fan of. Also, like, I would have threw in there And by the way, that I have. We were talking about clever leads. I would have added in that I have one of the strongest marketing bases out there. We're going to spend some digital advertising funds to get this in front of as many people as humanly possible, and we'll get this thing sold at top dollar as quickly as anybody in the business. That's it.
Good point. Good point. Jake, takeaways on your side.
I wanted to see how long I could go on this show without talking.
Well,
I made it close to 15 minutes, but this was nice. I was here at the round table. I was witnessing all of this perfection happening.
Well, yeah. Jake,
so
Jake,
when
we can do this. Hold on. Bye, Jake. Oh, look, he's not talking anymore. Okay.
Oh, he's going.
And he's back.
Oh no! Oh no! Not that.
So wait. So let's go through this. Hold on, because people aren't watching. So we spent 25 minutes before showtime where Jake was trying to get out of that spot because the Real Estate Uncensored logo is blocking his logo, and Greg just ruined it in 2 seconds.
It's one of these round tables, ladies and gentlemen, obviously. Okay. When the market starts shifting and changing and you start feeling a lot of these different things and extra days on market, time on market, all of a sudden you're having to reduce price, or like Mr. Tony Babarino, he's in a situation right now. He actually went ahead and made a couple comments on the show. He's one of the show contributors for Real Estate America News. He actually has a listing today that was on market for 30 days with a broker. They couldn't go ahead and get this thing moved in California, believe it or not. All right. So then they went ahead and said, hey, Tony, can you come over here and help us out? We need some of your marketing and awareness and everything else. We need to shed some light on this property. 30 days on the market. So things are starting to shift. We're seeing some national statistics out there saying about 16% of homes across the nation started to see some possible reductions in prices. So things are starting to shift, right? We have seen back in April, we reported on the news that there was 130% increase in foreclosures from this time last year. So things are starting, right? Yep. Things are starting to go ahead and shift. You're going to see it. Also, I had some agents actually in the Clever Leads family that started working some expires and pre-foreclosure type work here just this last week. So we were setting up some scripts. So things are definitely changing, and we're on the verge of it. When it comes into any type of transaction, every seller is looking to maximize their financial position. So if somebody like Nick, who couldn't get his house sold or needed that $100,000, even though the market bears that he would have probably had $70,000 to $80,000 in his pocket, taking away, and part of that mental thought process financially is what? I need this money. I have to move. I have to relocate. All of these different expenses are going into the mindset of that family. Yep. So if you can start taking some of those things off with things like the moving programs, it's a huge up. And I do agree that, Greg might be a little bit better at this than Gene.
Sorry, Gene. Yeah.
It is what it is.
Hey, so let's jump into the three different things that we want to talk about here, because I know the audience is eagerly awaiting kind of some of our conversations in regards to the market is shifting, the three things you need to know and do right now.
Well, that was one.
Yeah, that was one.
Expired
so
listings, right? Start looking at days on market.
Okay.
Yep. Number two, we talk about all the time. We talk about. I kind of coined it as brand authority, but if somebody Googles your name, and here's the reason I'm saying this back to back with expired listings, because as you start to go on more appointments, people are going to be searching for your name, right? Mm-hmm. Where are you coming up online? Is your GMB profile set up? Are you saying all the same things consistently across all platforms?
What LinkedIn is a GMB?
Google My Business, which is not, it's just called Google Business now. It's a little bit different. But claiming an address, claiming, verify your account through email. You can actually do on Google Business now, you can have text messaging set up. So all Google is pushing, just kind of like Facebook pushed Messenger a long time ago. Google is now pushing for businesses to be able to contact directly with consumers via text. I guarantee 90% of agents don't have their GMB set up properly to be able to handle text messages coming through. That's a big deal, right?
That's interesting.
But having your brand consistent across all platforms. So if you haven't updated your LinkedIn profile since you got your license 5 years ago, but you're active on Instagram all the time, those two profiles are probably going to look a lot different, right? Making sure all your bios are consistent across all platforms, making sure all your links work. What can people find out about you when they Google your name? Because when you go on a listing appointment and you tell them you're the best marketer under the sun, and you have all these expensive tools and gadgets, and you do all this marketing, they're going to look you up if you can't get the appointment, if you can't get the close right there at the appointment. So having that brand authority, having some correspondence, some videos, some blog posts, just, is your brand relevant? Is it online? Can I find it?
The funny thing is that, Nick, you bring that up, is the fact that I went on an appointment the other day, and I sat down, did my niceties and everything else. I'm like, do you have any questions for me? Like, no, I've already Googled you. I know everything about you. I mean, I know this, that, and another thing. And I'm like, holy crap. Like, how do you guys know this much about me? I'm like, oh, wait a minute. Never mind. Stupid question. I kept that in my head, but it is 100% true. I actually had to go out there and redo a lot of my websites and social media stuff and update all the information. Is there a website? Is there a service? Is there somewhere that you can go out and you can actually, let them do it all for a couple of bucks?
A social media audit?
Yeah, just internet audit, like just collect everywhere that your name is being seen. Because I paid a company, which I don't have the name in front of me. It's like $40 or something. It was nothing. And they updated all of my social media, all my LinkedIn, all my everything.
So there's listing services out there. Yeah. Like I think Moz Local is probably one of the top ones where you can update it's called a NAP. We call it a NAP, name, address, phone number, right? So if your name, address, phone number isn't consistent across all platforms, you will not rank. That's kind of like first of the first. So try Moz Local. I think they're $100 a year, I believe. But there's other listing services as well. It's not just them, but they're probably the cheapest in town as far as a DIY type product.
I want to
look at Tony.
I want to bring this to the stage here. I just shared my screen. Thanks for bringing it up, Mr. Greg. This is Tony Babarino, everybody. I roll with Tony. I've got a t-shirt that says I roll with Tony. He does a fantastic job with brands. So if all of a sudden your people are thinking about, or you start saying and having these types of conversations like, this is what I can do. I'm rolling with tech. I really represent your property well. I'm into social media. I can get this out there. And so Tony does a really good job. If I was a seller, I would come to TonyBabarino.com. Next thing you know, I'm seeing Tony. He kind of has 3 different images of himself. In the light, it says local, full-time realtor, social media influencer. I've got some representation from social. And all of a sudden I'm coming down. I want to buy, sell. Very clean, really good feelings of pictures with different homeowners, has some blog posts. He's obviously a contributor in some large segments out there online. So even if your website is simple, ladies and gentlemen, still it has to have that brand awareness, that brand feel. And I think Tony does a really good job. And I wanted to go ahead and kind of showcase that a little bit.
A brand page. How about that for a novel approach to real estate? 90% of realtors just have an IDX page with their logo in the top right-hand corner or left-hand corner, right? So that's great, Sarge. I'm glad you brought that up. Tony is fantastic and is a good example of what a brand page should look like.
For sure.
Yeah, no, Tony does a great job and a great dude, and he's just a all-around good human. You know what? I want to talk a little bit more in regards to branding.
You guys talk about me like that.
Well, we do. Well, your hashtag stay handsome. I mean, come on. I mean,
shitting on me the whole show, and then you bring in Tony Babarino. Tony Babarino. Look at his social space.
Okay, so someone's butthurt. Moving forward.
All right. Next time you come down to the ocean,
subconsciously what just happened though?
I'll pay for the old fashions.
Subconsciously, Gene just said Tony Babarino 3 times because he saw him 3 times on his header profile. How about that for some marketing?
I like
that.
Damn, did that happen?
Yeah, that happened.
Tony, we'll talk later about your compensation.
Exactly. All right, let's bring up number 3, Nick. Unless someone else wants to have another comment on number 2.
I do have a comment on number 2. Yes.
Okay, go.
Let's talk about brand. What did you call it? Brand what?
Authority.
Thank you. I couldn't think of the word. One of the things that we're really pitching, and I have been doing this for a couple of years now, and I'm going real hard at it now because really nobody cares you're a real estate agent. I always joke with people when I do presentations, I'll say like, look, if I walked out of this place and went, I have a house to sell or buy, there'd be 75 people standing there with their business cards like that. I mean, there's real estate agents are a dime a dozen. If I don't need your service right now, or I don't know that I'm going to need your service in the near future, I don't really care about your listings. I don't care that you have an open house. Couldn't care less about anything you're doing. Same in the mortgage industry. This is boring stuff. Real estate, for the most part, unless you're a habitual investor and this is what you live, breathe, and eat, you're an Airbnb guy or girl. Like, no, most people don't live and breathe real estate that are in your circle. So I think it's super important that when you're creating your brand authority, you're creating it around who you are as a person, not what you do in life, right? So in my world, more people probably know me for my shenanigans and other things than they do the digital marketing space. And that's okay, because what I find is I'm able to self-vet. Like, what I do is I kind of back into my business, which is, and this is not what I'm saying you should do. You should still market yourself. But I'll back into my space because I might get 100 people to watch one of my videos. They see what I'm doing in my real world. That 2 of them decide they kind of like it or they want to dig a little further in. And one of those 2 will go, I like this dude. What's he doing? And then they'll go down a rabbit hole and realize that I'm in marketing. And when you start searching on my stuff, it becomes easy to see that I'm in that space and I'm fairly decent at it. And then they call me for what it is that they need, right? So bring your personality out first. And I always like to subtly make sure that people are always reminded that you are a real estate agent and you're in this area, in the areas that you serve. But the most important thing is, what are you doing in your real world? How many kids do you have? Like, for me, I always go back to my daughters. I have a 14-year-old and a 17-year-old. You think I'd be more likely to get a client if I came out and said, Facebook's algorithm works this way? Or me saying, we just bought my daughter a car, and after 2 months of it, she got her first bang up in it. So this is what we're doing to fix that, right? And most people with a 17-year-old that have gone through that go, I feel your pain, bro. And now subconsciously we've created that bond. And in a lot of cases, they'll stick around and watch me longer and longer. They'll start to know what I do. And then when they'll stay around for the entertainment, but when they're there and they realize they need digital marketing services, I'll be one of the first people they think of. Does that make sense? So brand authority comes from your personality, not so much what it is that you do.
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, I've gotten more deals from talking about dog poop at the dog park and dog food, but just because I don't give a shit. And I'm like, you know what? What's up? How are you? What's going on? And they're like, what do you do for a living? I'm like, I put people into debt and I stress them out. And they're like, what do you do? I'm like, oh, I sell real estate. They're like, oh, we have a question. And I had another real estate agent that actually asked me to represent them on their purchase, just based upon our conversations at the park. So I 100% agree with you on that. So like, your daughter got in a car accident or a fender bender or whatever it was. She hit a pole or whatever. But I mean, it's just relating to another human being on a core basis. Once you understand being a human, real estate comes really easy. You don't have to sell yourself. You just sell who you are as a human being. Jake Wolf, I see you twitching.
Yeah, I do twitch every now and again when you say some things, Greg. But this one was a good thing, right? No, I enjoy referrals. I think everybody here in the real estate space enjoys referrals, but how do you get to be referable? Right? So your customers love the hell out of you and what you do, and you've done them a good job, and you've got a reason to go ahead and be referable by unique selling propositions and other things. And I just keep thinking about all the real estate agents out there that struggle with some of the same old type stuff. And like, I have an agent right now out of Central Florida who teamed up with Freedom Move USA at the beginning of the year. We put everything into his programs. He's already capped. He's an EXP agent. He's working with 30 families right now. The referral on one of his listings that he just moved last week to one of my Denver agents was worth over $100,000 in commissions. They went ahead and bought a house to live in that was like $875,000, $850,000 while they were building the 1.7, and then also picked up a 10-year commercial lease on an office. It was a great phone call, right? To another agent, right? Referable. But that person that listed with my agent here out of Central Florida was like, you're going to move me to Denver for free? I just got a quote from Allied for $28,000. Yeah, we'll take care of it. So, he's got 30 families because he's already done this kind of service. Some of the ladies inside of the community that he lives in heard about it. They've got family and friends that are moving down. The phones are just ringing like crazy, and he's begging for other real estate agents to go ahead and join his team because he just can't handle all the work as a solo agent. So it's about finding those little things in your business that you can just go ahead and tune in, become referable, and just keep going forward. I just recently purchased a RoofMax dealership. So I have a RoofMax dealership here in Central Florida. I control all of the Golden Triangle territories and everything else like that. RoofMax, I'm going to go ahead and bring the CEO on the news here in the near future, and kind of talk about this product. Kevin Harrington, one of the #1 sharks from Shark Tank, actually joined this company. They've got a RoofMax dealership out of the greater Tampa area, and it's a penetrant product that gets sprayed onto the roofs. It brings back the life of your actual shingle, so you don't have to replace it. So here you can go ahead and get a RoofMax treatment, rejuvenate your roof, get a 5-year warranty on your roof for 10% of the cost of a roof replacement, and then just move forward. The other nice thing is having like angles, right? So from my seat at the dealership, a lot of homeowners are wanting to pre-treat their roofs before they actually go ahead and sell so that they don't have any issues with the actual home inspection on the sale. So we're getting a lot of pre-market intelligence that we can just keep feeding back to other folks. And it's just, you just got to kind of change the way you look at your business, change the dynamics, make sure that you've got something that's referable. Why should people refer you? Yes, obviously in the know, like, trust category, you're a great person, good brand, been around, you're credible, you've got time in the saddle, know what you're doing, have came through different objections before. But bottom line, you have to have something that makes a positive financial impact for your clients as well, and also saves them that personal convenience. So if you can find that and make that little bit of a shift, and then do all of the rest of the things that you've heard us talk about for years, now it just becomes perpetual motion, and phones start ringing, and you start thinking about things like, oh my gosh, I don't have enough time. Now all of a sudden you're growing your business, adding more competent people to it, helping duplicating, multiplying your efforts and things like that. So, but all of these things are so important to actually get in place. And I go back to it all the time. And Gino and I talk about it. Nick and I talk about it. There's those foundational cornerstones in your business. You have to get set up and then grow from it. So,
my grandfather and I when I was younger, he was a big deer hunter and pig hunter. And all of you guys who are big fans of PETA, I apologize, but yes, it is something I did go do. And I asked my grandfather one day, Grandpa, how do you find a deer in the trees? And he said, Greg, look for what does not belong. So transfer that into business, find out what is not there, and then fix the solution. Like Jake has done with Freedom Move, with RoofMax, Gene and Nick with both their marketing companies. You're finding that hole that people don't see that's missing, and you're plugging it, and you're allowing folks to be the better version of themselves because they don't have to worry about the services you guys offer. So as real estate agents, as professionals, what's the issue that you guys can fix right now, today? It could be small, it could be big, it doesn't matter. What's one thing you can fix today in your business that are going to allow your clients to see you as someone that they can rely on? That's a question, food for thought. Nick, final section of our 3-part series.
That was it. Unique selling proposition. But I want to piggyback on personal brand. So I shared my screen here for a second. This is a deck that I've done for training for agents all over the country talking about personal brand. And I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but essentially this character in the middle, we're all familiar with, right?
Well, you have to walk us through this for the folks who are listening.
Okay, so we're looking at a screen right now with a 1980s glamour shot photo, and the title of that underneath is I Sell Houses. So this is the typical agent that has no video marketing in place, that only has a picture of themselves from 1984, and all they talk about when they talk to people is I sell homes. So I don't know anything about this agent. I can't find her anywhere online besides her Keller Williams page that I happened to Google up. I don't know what she does. I don't know where she works. There's just not much information about her, right? So instead of doing that as the center of your business, we want to think about all the things that you actually like to do and you can actually talk about through video marketing, through blogging, whatever, right? So when we're talking about connecting with your audience and actually telling your story, so we're switching our mind frame right now of just regurgitating information to just telling your story. If the best people right now in communication with marketing, business owner, whoever, like whatever, if you're following somebody on social media, I guarantee you're following them because they're a very good storyteller, right? And so I want you to think about the handful of things that you actually like to do or a handful of things that you can actually tell stories about that can all come back to relate to real estate in some fashion, right? So like in this example on this chart, like just list 5 or 6 things. I have 2 kids. How can I talk about my story with my kids, my relationship with my kids and their school district, all comes back to them, right? Comes back to real estate. I like to run 5K marathons. Where are 5K marathons run in your town? A couple different zip codes. Do you travel all over the place to do that, right? Are you part of any kind of association? Do you like to build pallet furniture? That's kind of a trendy thing to do, right? Do you like competitive barbecue? Are you active in your church? And then the funny, like I bake gluten-free cookies for dogs, right? So there's all these different things that you guys do that I don't know if you're afraid to talk about, but you don't think it'll actually bring you business. But I promise you, in marketing, I can tell you at national brand levels, because I've worked with national brands, when we go for a go-to market strategy or campaign, it's not one piece of marketing that goes out to everybody. Okay. It's one campaign, and underneath that campaign, there might be 5 or 6 different looking people from different demographics that are going to go to different demographics and see different things. So all these different things that you have in your world that you can talk about online through video and telling a story, you're going to relate with other people. They're going to relate to your story, and then that makes you unique. So even if you don't, which I don't know why, because you'd be a fool not to sign up for freedomoveusa.com. Go sign up before the territory is closed. But if you don't sign up for that and have a unique selling proposition that just gets people to call you, you're your own unique selling proposition. And you do that with your stories, right? So don't be this guy, okay? Don't be the used car salesman. Be more like Phil from what's the show? I forget. I went blank.
I know.
Yeah.
Groundhog's Day. Phil.
Yeah,
No,
Modern Family.
Modern
Family, right? Tells the story. Just be more like Phil and less like a used car salesman when you're online, but tell your story, right? Reach into your pocket of what do you do on a daily basis? How can you relate to other people? Because that's all this is. That's all marketing is in 2022 is relationship.
So here's a funny thing. I don't know if you guys follow anything kind of like weird and scary on YouTube. There's a guy his name's Mr. Ballen. That's Ballen. He's an ex Navy SEAL, and he tells like crazy stories about kind of what goes on around the world. The reason why I'm telling you about this is that he does it in story form, so it's very engaging. It's it's entertaining. He also does incredibly clever ways to interact and react with people to get them to like their YouTube channel. So if you guys are going to start a YouTube channel, if you have a YouTube channel, if you have a podcast, going to start a podcast, if you want people just to follow you, it's going to take a couple of minutes. Just watch the first part of his show and just watch the crazy shit that he says about getting people to crush the like button and follow button. I laugh every single time that he does something like that because it's so out of the box. It makes me interested to hit that button again. I think, gentlemen, Jake, I want to go to you on this one, and then Gene, back to you. Being different, standing out. How would you give an agent, either new or someone who's getting into the business or wanting to grow their business, how would you encourage them to be different, out of the box, something noteworthy? Because a lot of people are very, very, very vanilla on a good day. So, Jake, what would be your number one thing that you'd tell someone to go do something?
Sure. Absolutely. Thanks for asking me. Nick went ahead and said it perfectly, right?
Mm-hmm.
Here's this vanilla agent. I sell houses right in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
And then here's all of these things around Nick's circle. However, when you actually establish brand and build your website presence and everything else, there should be some video there. That video needs to go ahead and have you in it. You're an educational ambassador. I've got about 10 to 20 videos that we've done some SEO research on that are kind of sought after by prospective sellers that really can be evergreen, built into your actual website. So I think that's really the first thing. Now, we live in this digital world. Video is so damn important, but I think that these folks need to go ahead and shoot some good, high quality H2O videos on some SEO sought topics and have that there inside of their website. Period. First, because if you're handing out business cards, if you're sending postcards, if you're hanging out at your competitive barbecue competition, or however in the world somebody comes back to your website, now it gives them a little bit of flavor of who you are, what you do, things to think about, education on different sales side, buy side type stuff. It has to be there. So for you guys that are out there that have websites that are static with just your picture hanging up in the corner, don't have anything that's very interactive, you're already diminished about 87% from what our statistics say after we're looking, because we run analytics on all of our advanced tracking websites so we can see how fast you're coming and going, what you're actually looking at, what parts of the websites you're looking at, things along those lines. So we've matched up many of static websites against interactive websites that have consumable educational content. Just, you have to give people something to eat. So video is so important. You're going to hear everybody. If you go to any other real estate podcast, everybody's going to say video, but you have to have the right sets and the right set of that foundational cornerstones. It has to be done with purpose. So that's first and foremost.
Yeah, purpose is a huge thing. I think a lot of folks don't have purpose because they're we're all about the shiny new object, and zeroing down, getting a hold of Jake, getting a hold of Gene, getting a hold of Nick, making that really kind of ring true to what you want to offer out to the world. Gene, what are your thoughts on this?
I want to see more of this good, high quality H2O video. You threw the H2O in front of the video. I thought that was interesting. Yeah. Maybe this is some Jacques Cousteau shit we're doing underwater. Maybe
it is. I actually went in and I analyzed all of the top keywords, SEO, search terms, and everything else. And as soon as people come into my Clever family, that's what I give them for free as a gift. Here you go.
Here you go. Start your journey off on the right foot. I always say when your brand is weak, it's like building a house on a flimsy foundation, right? Yep. You got to make sure that stuff is tied down. But what I will say, Nick, I want you to send me that circle thing with that agent, that cream corn agent on the front of it. I think that's an amazing tool for some of the things that I talk about, which is figure out what your roles are, right? So what's the most important thing you do in your life? That should be the center. I got to imagine for most people, it's not real estate. Real estate would show up on the outside of that circle somewhere, right? But I feel like that's a great visual tool for agents to put down. I'm going to start giving that exercise out in my presentations where tell me who you are as the main person in the middle. Give me some of your roles on the outside. And then we're going to spin off those outside things and create content and video for you in those areas. And if you do it right, there's one in the middle and 6 around it. That means there's 7 different personalities you have. Real estate should be one of the 7, right? And you should post accordingly. So that's actually I love that tool. If people can go back and screenshot that, I highly recommend you do that for yourself and then call one of us. I know I give away those free incognito Google audits all the time. If you're interested in seeing what the outside world sees when they give a search on your name, I'd be happy to walk through it with you free of charge.
Nick, I have a broker that's coming into the family here, and she's from Indiana. I just did an audit on her whole infrastructure, and she loves horses, big into horse community, horse families, things like that, has her own ranch, kind of got into the real estate space as a passion for helping other equestrians, finding good ideal properties, and really into that culture, right? So, but I think she does it perfectly. Her website has got a really nice flavor of who she is as a person, but it's not like an overwhelming part of who she is. It's like passion, a little bit of history, family, community, right? And which really gives purpose. But her website is very brokerish, help you with this if you're looking for this. But on the social side of the house, now it's sprinkled with her and the kids and the horses and out. And so the business side of her website is really good and healthy. It's got a good blend. It has those subtle touches, has really good content, consumable information, but she gets social by opening up a little bit more of the personal side of me, hanging out at church, hanging out at, you know what I mean? Hanging out on rides with the equestrian side of the house. So there's the right place to go ahead and do that. But the center brand was really healthy on this. And I think that you're
Sarge, we live in a world now where people care more about who you voted for than if you're a good real estate agent, right? So if you can put your best foot forward out there, and show people the type of person you are, there's two things that happen. The people that you want to run with will seek you out, and the people that were never going to use you because of some of your antics or politics or whatever it is that you put out there into the public, they vetted themselves out. You don't have to spend any time buying anybody coffee. You're not going to work with them. They're not going to work with you, and that's okay too. So I'm okay with the self-vet and people get a chance to see that by digging into your personal world, which is what you did for her.
Well, so I'm going to fight you on that one, Gene, a little bit. Okay. I know you do. That's why we're going to go to boxing matches right now.
Let's go.
So being in San Francisco, I have a lot of gay and lesbian friends that live here. Mm-hmm. And, I'm a white Republican. Well, more or less Republican, give or take, more libertarian, whatever else. I'm a gun-toting, Second Amendment, First Amendment individual. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people, when I say that, those are fighting words, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But here's the cool thing about this. Not a single one of these individuals that I'm working with right now, with whatever gender they are, whatever orientation they want to be, doesn't matter. But I made friends with them, mm-hmm. and now we are buddies. Like, we hang out, we talk, we're worried about each other, we text each other, we want to maintain a conversation status. I know where they stand politically; they know where I stand politically, and that doesn't have to be a definition of who you are at all.
Right.
You just need to be a very good human being and bring value to their lives. I mean, I had a lady and her partner ask me to represent them. And I said, absolutely. And they know where I stand on everything. They know I have shotguns and handguns in the house and everything else. And they're like, yeah, don't care. We just like you. We trust you. I want to work with you.
So it sounds like you're an adult. And you're working with other adults that can actually disseminate.
It's so amazing.
Fucking sexuality and guns. I mean, look.
Congratulations, Greg.
Yeah,
thank you. Well, I graduated to adult.
But listen, I say that sort of jokingly, but I'm not really joking, because that's part of the problem with social media, is that here's what it is. If you don't agree to every fucking thing that I agree with, you're a scumbag, and you're the opposite of what I am. That's not how the world works, bro. Like, just because, look, listen, now we're going to get political, right? Oh, you guys, shit. I always say this. My brother and I are from the same blood. If you listed 25 things that in politics that were important to us, call it abortion, sexual orientation, finance, whatever, he and I would have 24 of them that didn't line up, right? Because he lives a different life than I do. I have different sets of priorities than he does. For he and I to see eye to eye on everything is stupid. You're an idiot if you think that's the case. And if you judge other people based on that shit, I don't want to do business with you anyway. Right? Like, look, I keep my shit private. Greg, I don't necessarily agree with your love of guns. I really do, because I have a love of guns too. But that doesn't mean we can't do business together. Just don't bring your gun to my place, man. Like, it's cool. You're a good agent. I think you're a good dude. Cool.
But that's the whole point, guys and gals. You can be different, and you can be the same at the exact same time. Shut up.
No, not you. I didn't mean you. I mean, that's the point. Grow up.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
but
so where I was going.
let's understand why this is happening, Greg. So
sure.
On that same map of all the different things, now being a salesperson, you are a chameleon by nature, right? So
you pivot.
You essentially are going to mirror and match your customer. You can always find something in common with somebody, right?
Mm-hmm.
In some capacity. So unless you're just so far out there with this opinion on this one thing that's all you talk about, then you will drive people away. But if you have like 5 or 6 or 7 other things that you like to do, then other people will gravitate to those things, and they might look past the gun thing. because they know you like puppies. You know what I'm saying? So like that's where the whole wheel comes into effect, the flywheel. And also too, so I want to bring this up. We talk about like pushing people away, and there's a lot of scarcity mindset when it comes to real estate agents. They want to be able to claim their whole entire territory, every single zip code. They can sell a house. They get upset if, you know, they have no farm. There's no clear defined avatar. They don't know exactly who they're going to. And then that speaks to their content because they are trying to please all people.
Yep.
So when you try to please all people, you please nobody, right? It's okay to have an opinion on something, right? What I want you guys to understand is if you don't define who you're talking to when you're talking to them, right, then you're never going to resonate with anybody. Okay? You're never going to have that person on the other end when they're listening to you go, "Oh, I like that guy," because you're being way too vanilla, like Greg says, right?
Yeah.
So the scarcity mindset, if you have an opinion and you're worried about people pushing away from you or not getting that business, how many deals do you need to close on an annual basis for your life to be great? Is it 2 deals a month? Is it 3 deals a month? Is it 4 deals a month? Do you think there's 24, 36, or 48 people that you can capture on an annual basis in your market and still live your life the way you want to live it and have opinions the way you want to have them and find like-minded people like you?
100%.
I think so.
100%.
So don't have that scarcity mindset. It's okay to have an opinion. Just there is a line for sure. Okay. But
yes.
But if you're not showing any of your personality or any of the things you do, nobody's gonna be attracted to you.
You know, the one thing I've always said, I don't talk about sex, politics, or religion. Those are the 3 things I do not talk about at all, everywhere, unless someone brings it up to me. But like those of you who are listening to us right now through earbuds, Nick has got a sweatshirt on. I have a sweatshirt and a baseball hat on. I'm barefoot. Gene has a t-shirt on. But then Jake over here is dressed to the nines. He's got his shirt, his tie, his vest on. He's looking snapper. He's got his nice watch on. He's just looking like a baller. Now, we all operate in different arenas, and we all operate in our own realms and how we want to be perceived. So identify that, guys and gals, and then just move forward and be comfortable with how you move forward. You don't have to be Jake Wolf. You don't have to be Gene Volpe. You don't have to be Nick Sakis. You don't have to be Greg McDaniel. You're just you, and enjoy the fucking shit out of it.
And the advantage of having a defined farm or market, right, is the thing that you could have in common with people is you fucking love where you live.
Yeah.
Right? I love the dog parks. I love going to the beach. I love so like you might be completely different on other things, but show your daily life. Why do you love the places? Why do you live in this town? Why do you do what you do?
There's actually there's a guy, his name is Greg, I think Greg Chen, Asian gentleman out of Las Vegas. I met him on Clubhouse, and Nick, to your point, he said that he was going to start doing a vlog about different restaurants and things to do in Vegas. And I'm like, oh, this motherfucker ain't going to do shit. Dude, this guy is crushing it. He and his partner are out there at all these different restaurants, all these different venues. And I literally look forward to seeing his content because I'm excited about, how excited he is about the different things in his area. So let's do some takeaways, ladies and gentlemen. Jake, what's your number 1 takeaway?
I like this, right? I like what you guys just went ahead and said about attraction and being you and kind of getting social. However, I really like having something that's so powerful that people just don't even give a shit who you are. They just need your service.
Yes.
Right. So, and then they just go tell their friends, you got to go talk to Jake. You got to go talk to Jake. You got to go talk to Jake, and let your customers be your guide to new opportunity. And that's what I do on multiple levels for my business. My business is plural. Just let it ride. So when I start building initiatives like this, it's about, letting people know who I am and what I do and who, that kind of a scenario. But underlining, it's going to be the core service that you offer with your businesses, and let it ride. So
wait, so I want to tell you a quick story real quick. So Terrence hit the nail on the head. So Jake, when you talk about just being so good that people don't really care what your politics and beliefs are because they just need to get the job done. There's an Italian restaurant that used to be open near me, and I love this place. I would go with my family, I would go with friends, and I'd go by myself. And the rumors over the years with the owner was such an asshole that I would avoid him. I knew who he was, and I would avoid him because I was afraid he was going to say something to me that was going to piss me off, and I wouldn't be able to go back there anymore. I liked the food so much, but didn't like him and his politics that I stayed away from him. So I could always say to people, he's never done anything to me. I don't know. It's important though, but his food was that good. I didn't care about his politics. I didn't care about anything that was going on. His food was so good. I kept coming back.
That's when you know your business is healthy.
Yep.
Well, I mean, you can be gay, straight, bi, trans, Asian, white, Mexican, you pick your race, your, anything else you out there. If you're bringing value to another human being, there should never be any judgment. I mean, we're all humans trying to help other humans. End of story. Gene, you just told that story perfectly in regards to the restaurant. And I think that's a really big thing. We're all so concerned in regards to the fact that, well, if I'm not this or that or this or that in regards to whatever you fill in the blanks, then I'm not going to get any business. When in reality, if you go out there and you don't have commission breath and you just make friends with human beings and be relatable to something that's important to them, your life's going to shift, ladies and gentlemen, significantly because you're bringing value to them. And they're going to see past it really quickly. If they don't, then they're a very shallow human being, which very little of us are. They're going to say like, oh my God, Nick Sakis, like this fool, like is inspiring me because he's the ever shrinking man. And he is just bringing incredible value to my life because he's inspiring me with his weight loss. Gene Volpe, I mean, the razors he uses for his head to keep it super shiny, it's the best thing I've ever seen. Jake Wolf, I mean, he can talk to me about all kinds of cool stuff when it comes to his past history and what he used to do in his prior life. And I find that incredibly interesting. I want to buy him a beer. Guys and gals, that's where
I need to see more Gene Volpe cooking videos, by the way.
Oh, yeah, we do. We do.
They need to come back.
We do.
I'm going to fly Gene down to my house so he can make me his famous meatballs and I can sit by the pool and have a big old fat cigar.
Oh, yes. I'll make what do you call homemade pasta too.
Come on,
what?
I've never had homemade pasta.
I haven't either.
We got to get together.
Yeah.
I've never had homemade pasta.
Dude, we do it on Sundays. It's a special event. It takes a long time, but it's fun.
My dad actually used to make homemade pizzas, and it would take him hours to make homemade pizzas.
So good, though.
Oh, so good. Nick, take away.
We are entering a shifting market, right? So all the things that you've done up until this point, there's a possibility that it might not work. So history repeats itself. Brush off your scripts skills and be the valuable person in your market to let people know what's going on when it's going on. That's number one. Number two, what does your brand look like? How many things can you put on a piece of paper? Things that you actually like to do that can relate to other people and talk about that on camera.
Mm-hmm.
And then number three, I mean, honestly, if you're not signed up for Freedom Move USA, I don't know what you're doing with your life. Like it's the strongest USP under the sun. And I'm not a pitch man, but I'm a pitch man for this. So get a unique selling proposition. If it's not something like that, figure it out because every major team in your area has a unique selling proposition and they're beating that drum 7 days a week.
Yeah. Good point. Good point. Yeah. Freedom Move USA is a phenomenal opportunity for you guys to really stand out above your competition. If you guys like this content, which I hope you all do, go to REUNation.com. Again, it's REUNation.com. We have multiple different shows. Jake and Nick do a show on there about the news. Gene and his business partner, Captain Link Juice, they talk about mortgages. I'm doing my beers and calls. We're doing this show. We have Michelle Berman. We have Kyle Draper. We have my brother Brad McDaniel. My father Terry, who's been in the business for 50 some odd years. He and I think one of his business partners are going to get in, and we're going to call it the OGs of real estate because they've been in it for 55, 60 years each. And we have a lot more very interesting people. Ashley Chapman, The Shit Show. She's creating content in there. So it's 100% free. Go there, check it out, guys. We are going to be, let me rephrase that. We are going to be the YouTube of real estate content. All you have to do is come in, hang out, kick it with us. We have a bunch of free shit we're going to be throwing out to you guys, but go out there and crush it. Guys, I have to cut this short. I just got notified by my my laptop that I'm going to die here really quickly. So
Good luck, Greg.
Your laptop's telling you that you're going to die?
yeah, it's really
Get
weird.
a different laptop, Greg. That's not positive motivation at all whatsoever.
No, it's like, you're gonna die, clown. I'm like, shit.
It's a great idea. All right, drop it. Go,
Jake. Where can I get a hold of you very, very quickly?
Yeah, go to runation.com. If you want to get in touch with me personally, click on my bio page, runation.com, and there'll be some information on how to connect with me personally. But head over to freedommoveusa.com. Fill out your agent application over there, and if your territory is available, you'll be accepted to go ahead and proceed, and you'll get through training, get invited into our private Freedom Move group, and learn how real estate agents are just crushing it, and get yourself into a position for hundreds of thousands of dollars of referrals.
Guys, I'm a personal member of that, and I am getting phenomenal results. Go over there right now. Gene Volpe, where do they get a hold of you?
I'm going with the same thing. runation.com. Find my bio. There's a way to get in touch with me. Sarge, that's set up properly, right?
Yes, it is.
All right. Do it that way. Or you can always go to genevolpe.com. My calendar's there. You can schedule a time with me through that too.
And by the way, guys, he loves to give you tickle rubs on your bottom of your feet. So Gene is a multifaceted human being. Nick Sakis, where can they get a hold of you?
I don't want anybody to get a hold of me. Just watch the show.
Nick, don't be Gene. Just tell me where you can get a hold of you. Okay.
I love it.
Yeah, RU Nation. RU Nation. I got a bio, or nicksakis.com.
All
if
right.
you feel like you'd like to book an appointment and get some free advice, nicksakis.com.
By the way, guys, I go to nicksakis.com every single day. I book 30 minutes with him every other Wednesday. It is absolutely fantastic.
Here's the one thing we got to make sure people understand. It's random advice. You can't ask for advice.
No, I didn't say it was going to help your business.
If Nick's calendar is full, you know it's Greg McDaniel's fault. He's constantly booking for support.
I love you guys. All right. I don't have a pen to write down the colors. So say your colors out really quickly for the names on the bow on the show. Jake first.
This is gonna be more perfect.
Sky blue, Greg. Sky blue.
We have sky blue. Gene.
Green like the grass.
Green like the grass. Nick.
Baltic birch.
Fucker. Why are you going to make this shit difficult?
Like
Baltic birch. Okay. There are their colors on the bow on the show. Ladies and gentlemen, we love you to pieces. I'm going to go because my computer's going to die on me. But we thank you. We love you. We appreciate you more than you can possibly ever imagine. We could not do this show without you. So please go out there and give us a 5-star, not a 2-star review on any and every place that you guys listen and watch the podcast. And share it with a friend or a family member that might need to hear some information. Reach out to any of these individuals who are here on the show. They are here to help you and serve you and bless you and your family and let you guys grow and thrive and just blow the world up in a positive way, not a negative way. Until next time, peace out, ninjas. We gone.